Why do I hate having children? Why do I hate kids? Why do I hate having kids? Why am I a parent at all? Growing up, I grew up in a world where I thought I would never have kids, never get married, never want to have the responsibility or the torture of being a parent. Now, fast forward, and I have kids, I have grandkids, and I think to myself, why do I hate having them? Why do I say such a crazy term as I hate having kids? I don't hate having kids. I hate the anxiety my kids bring me. I don't like the stress they bring me. I don't like the worry they bring me. But really, it's not about having them, it's about having the responsibility of them. Now, in the world today that we live in, there's a lot of people who just don't have kids right now. They don't want to have the responsibility. They know the cost, they know the ramifications, so they're just not having kids. One of my last videos, I said, having kids to save your marriage is not a good reason to have kids. So, what is a good reason to have kids? First, I think having kids because you want to have kids is a great thing, okay? You find someone you love, you get together, you have a child, you love that child, you take care of that child. It is a beautiful thing. The world needs more of that. Unfortunately, a lot of people have kids who don't love each other that much. They have no idea what they're doing and they're not prepared for it. Unfortunately, also, the people who have kids in the largest numbers usually, not always, but a lot of times that I've seen in my world, they don't have the resources to give those kids the best life possible. Growing up with two sisters, one older, one younger, I realized that money was a big deal. My parents, we didn't have a lot of money. My mother worked, my stepfather kind of worked, and we did without, like, we didn't know what a lot of things were because we just didn't have that. So we didn't know what we were missing. Our friends would have it, but we still just didn't get the concept. When I had my daughter, my wife and I had zero, nothing, nada. Okay, we were dirt poor. By the time we had Jeremiah, my son, and then Joshua, our next son, we had less than zero. But we loved each other. We loved our kids. We made it work. Now I'm older. I have more resources, and of course, I have grandkids. So that's always a positive. But what I've seen lately in the world that we're living in is the people who get the good jobs, who get the college education, get the good careers, or go into a trade. They start families later in life, and they only have maybe one or no children. And the reasoning is multitudes. One is maybe they have a genetic defect that they don't want to have a chance to pass along because they know what they struggled with. I know my children, a couple of them have struggled with that thought and thought, maybe I don't want to do that. And that's okay, right? Now, I don't think it's okay because I saw them thrive and grow, but I can't make that decision for them. Also, there's people who don't want to have kids because they like being free and they think kids will destroy their freedom. And yes, they will. You will not have freedom to do whatever you want whenever you want. Kids give you other opportunities to do things, though. You can go and just you get to explore new things, new and different things that you never thought about doing. From ropes courses to going camping to going to Storyland or Disney World. Things that you don't do as an adult by yourself, but you get to see it through your kids' eyes. And something about watching your child or even your grandchild discover something that you remember as a kid. It's invigorating. It's enlightening. It's joy. First time I brought my kids to Storyland, I was grinning from ear to ear because as a kid we'd go there And it was expensive back then. I mean, it's more expensive now, but it was expensive back when I was a kid. I know it was. But we do it like once every couple of years, and it was a big deal. And I remember going on those rides and doing those things and how amazing it was. But when my kids did it for the first time, and I saw them do it, and then my grandchildren doing things like that, it's just so much better. It just reminds me that there is joy in the world. There's pure joy in the world. Um, when I took my kids to Disney or Epcot or SeaWorld, I took a couple of the younger kids a couple of years ago to Disneyland, and my wife to Disneyland. It was really magical. And I know the whole Disney Magic Kingdom. That's so, it was really, it was amazing. It was hot. There's a lot of lines, but the joy to see just a new world open up to kids like that, it was great. Some people don't have kids because financially it's expensive. You have to be willing to go without if you have a child. For the longest time, we didn't eat the greatest. We didn't go on big trips. We didn't go anywhere. People didn't invite us places. People didn't come to our house. And that was because we had a lot of kids, a lot of mouths to feed, and we had to choose what was the best option. For us, a lot of times it was staying home and doing very little. Now, we learned how to make up games on our own. Like we did a giant story, Candyland in our house. So we did Candyland pieces throughout the house. We made like an inside board game. Kids are expensive. They are. It's okay though. I mean, here's the thing you also have to be willing to do if you have kids. You need to be willing to ask for help when you can't. My wife grew up in a world where we were told, survive, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. When our daughter was born and she was diagnosed with a surgery that we couldn't afford, we had to ask for help. We asked for help from our church, from our parents, from everybody who would listen to us. And ultimately, why we got married so quick is the insurance wouldn't cover the surgery unless Lynn and I were married. And they gave us like 5 days notice saying, hey, when you come back on Monday, if you come back and you're married, we'll just process it. So we got married sooner than we wanted to because Josie's life was on the line. And we just thought that was dumb. If it could make it less scary, less expensive, less obscene for us to just get married and then take care of Josie's surgery, well, let's do it. Another thing about kids is it's mentally exhausting. Kids make you worry about everything. When they're little, you worry about them burning themselves, getting stolen, going out in the street and playing in traffic, not eating right, eating too much, eating too little. Are they getting vitamins? Do they need a vaccine? Do they need to go to the doctors? Do they have an ear infection? Why do they have a headache? And everything in between. If we go to the pool, are they going to drown? We got to make sure that they're not going to drown. Are they in the right car seat? What is a car seat? I didn't have a car seat. My kids needed car seats. My grandchildren need car seats. These are things that you don't think about as an adult. I don't want to go to buy a car seat every year and a half, 2 years or whatever, because they're outgrowing it too fast. And that's the last big thing for me. Kids make you worry not just about your mental health, not just about their mental health, but about the end of your mental health and your physical health and your end. When I had kids, I didn't think, hey, I'm going to die someday. That's not how you think, right? But the older I get, the more I realize I have kids and they're all different ages. And some of them are really self-sufficient. Some of them aren't. All of them I love. Even the ones that are cranky sometimes, even the ones that don't always talk to me, even the ones that, disagree with me on things. I love them all. And with that, I hope when I go to the next world, they're a little sad. But then I think about what can I do to help them through this process? And you see your own mortality in their faces. Now, I have kids that range from little to big and everything in between. I have grandkids, same thing. I have littler, and littlest, and they all love us as their parents and grandparents, even when they don't. They do. Okay. When you start thinking about your own mortality, you think about the end, and then you start worrying: did I do enough? Did I show them enough? Did I teach them enough? Did I give them enough good advice? I know I screwed up. Are they going to remember the screw ups or the positives? And this really hit home for me in 2022 when my mother passed away. It hit home. Actually, it was 2023 when she passed away. It hit home because when she passed away, a lot of people stood up there and gave so many positive memories of Josephine, my mother, not my daughter. And I didn't have a lot. And I thought to myself, is this because we had a horrible childhood? Or is it because I'm angry at her? Or is it because I'm blocking out everything? Why do I not have as many positive memories? And it really hit home because I know with my children, I've done dumb things. I've had to admit to them when I've broken the law, when I've hurt people, when I've lied, when I've done dumb things. And admitting to your children that you're stupid or idiot or you're doing bad things or you've done bad things or that you're wrong, it really takes you down a notch. Admitting to your wife, same thing, but admitting to your kids, it's a little different. And I don't want my end of life them to think that dad was, horrible person. Do I agree politically? Probably not. Do I agree spiritually? Probably not. But I've always, thought to myself, I want my kids to at least know I love them, right? And that's what about having kids sucks. It hurts. It's bad. I don't like it. Is you can't be selfish and be a good parent. You can't be a loving parent and be selfish. A loving parent who cares about their kids might be mean, might be harsh, might not always do what the kids want. They might not do a lot of things the kids want. But just because the kids want it doesn't mean it's good for them, right? Giving your kid everything they want, no questions asked, does not build that child up to be better, a better person, a better human. It builds them to not understand that working for something is hard, but it's worth it. I hate having kids. I hate having kids because I love them so much. I hate having kids because if one of them calls me up from Rhode Island or Pennsylvania or North Carolina or Texas or Las Vegas and they say, hey, Dad, I need you. Or hey, Mom and Dad, I need you. I stop everything and I make it work. We have 2 kids who live in New Hampshire. They're younger. I'm taking one to a Red Sox game this weekend. And if he called me up today and said, hey, I really can't go. I'm going through something. I just wouldn't go. And I hate that. You know why I hate that? Because loving people, could be your wife, could be your dog, could be your kids, grandkids. It is the hardest thing to do because when you disappoint them, it hurts. It hurts a lot. And I hate the fact that over the last 30 plus years, I have disappointed my children. And I hate it. Now, I've been there for them. I've tried to support them. But I haven't been perfect. And I want to be perfect. I want to be a parent that's perfect, but I'm not. And I know I can't be, but I want to be. I know I have kids out there that, will say, well, Dad, you did this. Yeah, I did. And I'm sorry. But I think that's the reason why having kids is so horrible. Having kids requires you to think about who you are, what you are, why you are. You can go through life, have no kids, no responsibility, just live your life. And you know what? If that makes you happy, go for it. Having kids, grandkids, it brings me joy most days. It brings me happiness, joy, and I wouldn't change it for the world. When I was a teacher, when I was in the military, a lot of the people that I worked with in the military or were my students in teaching, I felt like I was a parent to them. I took responsibility myself when they had life struggles. I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to communicate with them. I wanted to be there for them. And it absorbed and took over a lot of my free mental space. And I had some people go up to me and say, why? They're just your students. That's not your job. It is. See, that's the whole point of today. I hate having kids. My mind, sees kids for all the negatives. My heart and my soul were created to help out kids and to help out people. So which one has won? If you know anything about me, you've watched any episodes, or you've even listened today, you realized my heart and my soul won. From the day my daughter was born to just yesterday, seeing the joy on my kids' or grandkids' faces, seeing them cry when maybe they have to go home, or seeing them cry when their heart is broken, or seeing them stress when life is going against them. It kills me when they're in pain. But then they smile and they laugh and they snuggle up or they hug you. And they don't hug you because they were told to. They hug you because they desire it. They long for it. They want it. They want that hug. They want that attention. They want that love. Nothing's better. Nothing is better. So yes, my mind hates kids. But my mind has been wrong a lot. And again, I think it's wrong this time. My heart, my soul, they were designed, created, made to be there for my kids, for my grandkids, for my wife, for my community. And while I'm not perfect, I'm there. I show up and I do the best I can for the people that need me. It could be a 7-year-old from Switzerland, or an 18-month-old in Texas, or a 6-year-old in Biddeford, or almost 7-year-old in North Carolina, or a 3-year-old in Pennsylvania, or a 35-year-old, or a 31-year-old, or a 17-year-old, or a 13-year-old. It could be for a son in Vegas who doesn't talk to me much. It could be from a daughter in Texas who talks to me all the time. It could be a daughter that comes over once in a while. It could be a daughter I don't see ever. They're all my kids, and I love them. And their kids, my grandkids, are amazing. So while I hate mentally having kids, physically, I don't think I could be who I am without them. Thank you for watching.